Welcome. My name is Bill Lyons, and I'm the CEO of Revestor. And today I have my good friend Adam Dailey with me. And Adam and I met in EO. He was actually one of my mentors that kind of helped me get started in EO. And your background is in marketing for the Olympics. Now he has a beer marketing company, several other companies that he's involved with. And one of the things he does that piqued my interest was he has 3+ properties on AirBNB locally here in Little Italy, and he's doing very well with them. And I thought, hey, we'd get you on. And so many people want to invest in Airbnb right now that I want to get a property, I want to rent it out, but they don't know where to start or what to do, or what the pitfalls are. So for me with Airbnb, I would never rent out my primary residence on Airbnb because I'm such a clean freak and a neat freak. Like, I would take all my mattresses and I would get rid of them. I would put them in a special room and have my dishes separated and all this stuff. But people just like leave their ketchup in their fridge and all their leftovers, and it's more like a family thing. So I don't know, would you ever rent out your primary residence?
Yeah, absolutely.
You would?
But, I mean, that's how I got started doing this in the first place, honestly. I was living in Austin a few years ago, and I rented our place out for South by Southwest. Which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $1,000 a day type of premium, and everyone talks about it. And I did it, and then I was going to the store and buying padlocks for the closets. I was going to put everything in there, and I was literally at Home Depot, and I'm like, what am I doing? If they're going to rip me off, they're going to rip me off. Like, the padlock's not going to stop them. And what am I really worried about, them stealing my shirts or my kids' blankets or what? I mean, what to dig around and find the stuff that's valuable? I mean. And I didn't think someone paying $1,000 a night was going to be, really into that. So once I kind of got over that hump, for me, it became a lot easier. Someone literally the next weekend, like it was online, and they were like, "Hey, how about the week after South by Southwest?" And for $400 a night, and I'm like, "We'll go down to San Antonio for the weekend." And so that kind of started me of just getting in this sharing economy and not being that stressed about it, and having kind of faith in people in general.
Right.
Not that I would do it every weekend or anything, but
I mean, have you had a bad experience?
I mean, sure. I mean, our places are big. They're 4 to 7 bedrooms, so people are coming to have a good time in San Diego and downtown.
Right.
I have no doubt what they're coming to do, but so we have people who don't take as good care of the place as I would, but we charge a cleaning fee. I explain to them what the place is about. Have fun, do what you need to do, but we expect you to clean up after yourself. And we've had, like I said, a couple of people not take good care of the place, but I charge them an extra cleaning fee. And no one's ever fought me on it. If someone does any kind of minor damage, we charge them for it, and there's not.
Well, there's that one other one. Speaking of Airbnb, there's of course VRBO, HomeAway, but there's that one that was on Shark Tank, focusing on college towns. So you wonder if that one would have more partying. I can't remember the name of it, but we'll pull it up for you guys when we do the video. Rent like a champion.
It's hard. Any of those if you're not VRBO or Airbnb, it's so hard to get in people's head. I mean, those are the two big ones. They're actually very different from one another. We use both, and we use, I think, FlipKey is like the third one, but they're way behind because they're built into TripAdvisor. So.
Oh, gotcha. So do you use a management company like Pello or a local management company? I know we're going to do an interview with George Yu, who's also an EO member, who has a property management company in Mission and Big Bear, right?
Yep.
But you're doing it yourself.
I don't, just because that stuff is expensive. It's 15 to 20%.
Yeah. And
I just don't. I mean, we're doing $150,000 in revenue. I don't want to pay someone $30,000 to manage the places. I like, if there's something that needs to be fixed, I like kind of going in there and seeing it. If someone does trash a place, or which, like I said, almost never happens. I like going in there and seeing it myself. It's a house. I mean, my son was born in one of the houses. It has some sentimental value to me. The other one I built from the studs up, basically. I ripped it down to the studs and built it back up. So I like the properties personally. Like I have a personal connection with all these properties, so I kind of like going into them. But as we scale, it's a question of whether we're going to contract that out or do like George does and bring on some other people and charge 20, 30 grand a year to manage their places. Isn't a horrible business model either.
Yeah, I mean, passive income, hands off. Why not? What else can we talk about? Have you had any HOA issues? I know that's a big deal. Someone will buy a property and think, oh shoot, I did the numbers and it cash flows $3,000 a month, but then oops, the HOA doesn't allow Airbnb's short-term rentals less than 30 days, and then all of a sudden their whole business plan is toast.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people who are trying to do what I do. I wouldn't touch an HOA. None of my places have HOAs, and which is why they're unique, especially for Little Italy, is they're freestanding buildings that, they have neighbors, of course, but they don't have HOAs.
Right.
And so that's also what makes our places stand out. But I wouldn't go against my HOA, and there's deceptive ways you can do it, of putting it around the block or
putting the pin somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think that's okay, but that's probably okay for more of a hobby. And if like I said, I'm trying to maybe bring on a few more properties, some investors, scale it. I can't do that saying, oh, actually what we're doing is illegal, but it's cool. We'll figure it out. Yeah. So I think if you have an HOA, I just wouldn't do it. I mean, it's just, there's ways around it. Like I said, if it's you.
Yeah.
But in terms of a business model, there's a lot of guys doing that, and I think it's troublesome.
Well, it'll go away. I mean, the HOAs are getting smarter. They're hiring third-party companies to make fake phone calls. So you're going to get caught and fined, and eventually you won't be able to do it. So it's a bad business model. What would you recommend on people finding the properties?
In terms of investors or looking for properties, or
looking for something. Hey, I want to invest in a property that I can put on Airbnb.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is not, for me, one of the earliest things is a non-HOA property, which is rare, right? In terms of, if you're looking at a low price kind of entry-level type of place, you're looking at, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. It's hard to get that in a freestanding building that's in a desirable neighborhood.
Right.
So it's tough. It's not easy to come in.
You have a good realtor that knows Airbnb.
Yeah, there's a couple, but again, like for me, I like the downtown stuff simply because I can get businesses coming during the week. It's a huge thing for us. All our places are usually full with people attending a conference during the week. Right. And then on the weekends, they're always full with someone coming on a bachelor party or guys' weekend or girls' weekend or whatever. And so I can get both, and for example, if I had a place out, in Hillcrest or something, like you're going to limit your options, right? Because people want to be able to walk to, or they think they want to be able to walk to certain things, and when they look at a map and they don't understand San Diego, they limit themselves to beach or downtown, right? That's really what they have in their head. So I think places like North Park and other places that are more interesting, that are growing fast. South Park, North Park, El Cajon Boulevard. I'm looking at those areas a lot because I think in 5-10 years that's where people are really going to want to be tourists, right? Because they're more interesting. But in terms of right now, I think it's tough.
So don't look at a city. Look at a neighborhood. Really know your niche. Like in Las Vegas, people talk about big families coming out for conventions. They bring their whole family with them, and they don't want to be on the strip, so they'll get somewhere off the strip, and those seem to be doing well for the people that we're talking to with Airbnb now.
Yeah, and looking at what's around. I mean, so for me, example, I look at guys doing it in Vegas, and I'm like, man, how could you do it? Because there's so many hotels, and they're always cheap hotels, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, who wants to stay in a house? Like, I've been to Vegas so many times, I've never wanted to stay in a house.
Yeah.
So for me, I try and, unfortunately, I can only look at what I understand and know really well. So I look at everything through my point of view, right? Oh, what would I like? Or, and so it's tough, it's a tough situation because sometimes you can't, like for me, I'm looking at price points, and I don't want to have places that are selling for 80, 90, 150 bucks a night, just because then the level of risk, there's a high level of risk.
What's your ideal price point?
We're looking at $500 a night.
500.
Yeah. So if I do it at $250 a night and I have 10 guys stay there, that's $25 a night. I have no guarantee of the level of person that's going to be there. So I feel like by trying to have a higher price point, I'm going to try to get a higher level of person in there, is the idea.
Right. And if you don't know that market, where are you going to find out what you can get on a nightly basis and what you can make?
I mean, you're going on Airbnb or VRBO, and I'm seeing, like, are they just floating this price out there? Are they really getting some business? And, when we're looking at, like, new type of opportunities, I'm looking at, especially if it's, like, a multi-unit, like, so I've looked at some places that are 7, 8, 10 units, and I'm looking at hotels nearby. What are the hotels selling? If they're selling for $69 a night, it's going to be hard for me to compete with a 1-bedroom apartment, even if it's nice, versus for $190 a night versus a Best Western that's $69 a night, which they're going to find easier.
Yeah, I was at an EO dinner, those Tuesday night dinners, and there was this guy named Pablo there who said that they got a giant motel and they turned the motel into an Airbnb, just, turnkey each room, and just blew everybody out of the water, and they're just making a ton of money doing it. So there's so many different things you can do.
I'm definitely looking at stuff like that. I love the idea of that, and running a hotel and Airbnb place kind of together, basically.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot
Totally
of opportunity.
disruptive.
And then again, if you're not worrying about an HOA, you're running everything, right? So you control everything. You can control the hotel market, and you can put it on Booking.com. But you can also run the Airbnb market. So
And it's self-serve, so you charge less. They're getting a better deal. They understand it.
you just have to build some systems too, because in that type of scenario, you're going to have a guy at the front desk all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because if you are, you're going to have to pay him, or you're going to have to give him a free room there, or whatever. I mean, it's
No, this guy didn't even have a front desk. It was pick up your key in the lockbox kind of a thing, and it was just completely.
it's good. You just have to build that infrastructure. You have to build those systems of having having everything automated, having your problems, and even what we're doing, which is on a much smaller scale. When I get a call at 10 at night, it's not a good call. Usually, just telling me how great the place is. It's like usually it's not a disaster, but it's usually like, I can't figure this out, or where's the key here, or I can't get
Where's
in.
the remote?
Totally, yeah.
So how important are reviews?
Yeah, absolutely important. So, when we put a new property on it doesn't have any reviews. It's people will question why not. Why isn't anybody reviewed this place? One thing we try and do is we build in, I think it's a $40 to $50 cost of a welcome basket, and we give them, a 6-pack of local beers, a bottle of wine, some fresh coffee. We do fruit,
Barn room.
yeah. So we try and go out of our way to where if there's a problem, they almost feel bad about talking about it because we've been such good hosts.
Yeah. So for those people who are new to Airbnb, what fees do they pay to Airbnb, and what does the host pay, you the host, and then the person who's staying there?
The host on Airbnb, the host and the guest are spending more or less 10% each. It varies a little for the host. It varies a little for both, depending on the size of the transaction, actually. But ballpark, you're paying 10% each. Within San Diego, you're also going to pay an extra. The user is going to pay an extra 10%, the hotel tax. And Airbnb, that's a non-negotiable. If you buy it online, or my neighbors, or whoever, if you're using the Airbnb platform, you're spending that extra 10.5%. So it's also good for us because we don't have to worry about collecting the tax or doing it, and we don't have to worry about going around or being illegal or whatever.
And what do most people charge for a cleaning fee? So people have some sort of a baseline.
You charge what you pay someone to clean your place for. I think there's people who charge $60, $80 to do a 1 or 2 bedroom place. We charge $175, and that's what it takes.
So your place is clean.
Yeah, and it's a big place. It's 2,500, 3,000 square foot place that takes all day to clean. That's what I charge the client, basically what I pay the cleaning people. So and you work that in, and the tenant pays that.
Cool.
So the tenant's paying a lot of it. If it shows up online for $3.99 a night, by the time they're paying, it's going to be significantly more than $100 more than that.
So is your business plan to go outside of Little Italy, outside of San Diego, into other states, or just mainly stay in your niche?
Like I said, I like being able to touch and feel and look at places, so it would definitely be in San Diego County for now. But it wouldn't necessarily be Little Italy. I understand that market real well, but I also don't want to cannibalize myself too much. I bought 2 buildings next to each other right now that, we'll see how it goes. It's only been 5 months or so, but we'll see how that goes in terms of them cannibalizing each other. They're basically the exact same place right next door to one another.
It's a great business model. There's real estate investors out there doing short-term rentals to make money off of Airbnb, long-term renting out long-term, and then obviously flips. Flips are tough right now because the market's tightened a little bit with that, but the short-term is a great business model. So you haven't seen the new product yet, but we are launching in about 10 days where they go to the homepage and they say, all right, I want to do a long-term rental. I want to see what it would look like on a short-term rental, and we're bringing in the average daily rent of that property in that area. and seeing what the monthly cash flow will be after that. And then we're assuming a 70% occupancy rate, and then they can obviously change that to, hey, I'm more seasonal, or I want to go down or up. So hopefully you'll use it, hopefully some of the users will use it, and hopefully it'll help you guys find some Airbnb properties so you can really run the numbers and use it as a pre-due diligence tool to then decide, do I want to go out and kick the tires? Do I want to bring a realtor in who knows the market real well? Because you got to know the numbers before you do anything. I think you'll agree with that, of course. So hopefully it'll help you guys find some of these properties and get going in your Airbnb business. But I really appreciate all the tips, and any last minute tips you wanted to add into someone. Buyer beware, or watch
just
out.
do your research. I mean, one of my buddies who invests in real estate a lot is like, be a sniper. So I think look around, run your spreadsheets, think about occupancy, think about rates. Summer's going to be great in San Diego. You're always going to sell out for most of the summer. Comic-Con, if you can get a place that's well located, you're going to do real well in Comic-Con. But yeah, do your diligence. For sure.
And hopefully this tool will do your diligence with you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it, man.
Cheers.